thank you so much for coming today. I am Joe Rubin. I'm one of the co-founders of Crowded.com. Hang out. We're ready? 2 minutes. All right, so we have an incredible turnout tonight. I got a chance to meet a lot of you already. Who was here at last month's Meetup? So just like 1, 2, 3. So that was pretty slam-packed. So definitely happy to have a nice, bigger space here. We have some amazing developers. We got a chance to read through a lot of your profiles, some very cool stuff. We are going to be doing this, as you know, every month. So definitely, if you're interested in coming to the next one, sign up. I think we had like 500 or something RSVPs. We could only take like 200 in tops in here. So good job signing up early. And for those of you who want to come to next month's, definitely sign up early again. Let's see. So we're going to have a busy day. So we have an amazing panel. I'm sure you guys saw our panelists here. Followed by, we're going to have a few other employers that are just floating around the room come up and talk about the open jobs that they've got as well. So stick around for that too. And then more time for networking. And we've got like a ridiculous amount of beer. So definitely stick around. I cannot carry all of that home. I can carry a lot of it home, but not all of it. Also, a couple of things. So I love doing this, like my favorite thing. I don't know why, but I love throwing stuff from the stage. It's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. All right, so there was just 4 of them, but I have like 200 of them. All right, so on the way out the door, trade in your name tag and lanyard. We spent just a ton of money on these things, and I want them back. So trade that in for some t-shirts. The t-shirts we got for all of you. So trade in your name tag, you get a t-shirt, and I'm sorry if that's not your size, pass it to the person next to you, and we will give you another one later on. All right, and let me see. I wanted to make a couple of quick thank yous because we could not do these events without the love and support of our sponsors. Matt, why don't you come up and tell us about Woofy?
Thank you. Thanks, sir. Hey guys, how are you doing?
Yep. I'm gonna follow you around like this.
Okay. Really?
No, I'm not really.
Oh, okay.
Here, hold that. And hold them both.
Hold them both?
Yeah.
Okay. It's very weird. Okay.
Not too close. That's just like that.
Like that? Okay. Very awkward. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the co-founder and CFO of Woofy. Quick question. How many of you guys have a fax machine on you right now? Anyone? No, no one. How many of you guys have a computer?
My back pocket.
Okay, like half the people. How many of you guys have a mobile device? Every single person in the entire room. So we're living in a mobile-first world, but there's no social media management platform that's designed for the on-the-go influencer, for the entrepreneur. What if I told you that our app can give you the power of mobile-first with a powerful management platform? It provides analytics and automation. So what you can do is, if you're a content creator and you have 52 pieces of content, you can set it up so that every Friday at 5 p.m. it posts for you, and in 5 seconds you've set up your entire year's worth of content. The analytics has call to action, so not only will it teach you how to get more out of your social media and how to get bigger engagement with machine learning, but it'll actually guide you to create a bigger following. We invite you to join our beta test. Go to hellowoofy.com, and we'd love to hear your feedback. And Joe, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sponsoring today's event. And where is Kelly from Rise?
Hey.
You got to hold both these again. So.
All right.
Perfect. All
He was the guinea pig, so. Hey guys, my name is Kelly. I'm a community engagement associate.
Sorry, can you interrupt me, but could you just hold that a little closer?
Like this?
The other one. That's too close.
You don't really need to hear what I'm saying, but yes, you do, because you are here at Rise New York, in case you don't know. Rise is the Barclays Open Innovation Platform, and we have 7 global locations, and we have a sort of a 3-pronged operating system. It's part co-working space, which many of you walked through, part event space, which we are standing in right now, and part accelerator, which is happening upstairs. We are really excited about FinTech in New York, and we are looking to build our membership base. So if you're looking for a place to work, if you are a tech or FinTech, any sort of tech startup, come talk to me. We'd love to work with you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, thank you so much for hosting us today. We've done several events at Rise. We love working with you guys. Thank you so much. And definitely take just, not the full tour, but just like the quick beginning tour before you leave here. It's a really cool space. Everyone here has a Crowded profile, right? Come on, I talk with my hands all the time. This is really not. All right. How's that? Everyone here has a crowded profile, right? All right, outstanding. So you've got a chance to check out our website, see what we're working on, but it's really tough to gauge exactly what we're doing. You know, there's the occasional bug and the occasional feature that's not up yet. We're an early stage company.
Yeah, so if everyone can move on in, we actually have some more space, and I think it's going to be difficult for everyone outside to hear because just the way the speakers are set up. So if everyone can just move on in, we're all family here. Is that okay? Awesome. So I'm going to ask the speakers it's going to be a little awkward, but I'm also going to ask you to pass the microphone because this is for a recording. We're actually live streaming on Facebook. Everyone wave hello to Facebook. Hi, Facebook. And we're also, back there somewhere. Okay, back there for Facebook. And YouTube too. So hi, YouTube.
No G+?
I don't know. We'll have to see. And then this is going to be for the PA system. So great, we're going to get right into it. And again, I'm Howie Schwartz. I co-founded Crowded with Mark and Joe. This is actually our third startup together. We have 2 exits in the mobile ad tech space previously. I'm also an active venture and angel investor. So I've had the opportunity over the past 20-something years to work with a lot of development teams. And I've hired and sometimes fired a whole bunch of developers. And we learned a lot in that process. And from the small startup company space and also from the larger company space on really what it takes to not only do a great job on the code side, but what it takes to fit in on a team. And especially when it comes to startups, it's to me, it's even more important than large companies. And again, we have some large companies on the stage. They may disagree and think it's just as important or more important on that side. So we're going to get right into it. We have a lot to cover. One thing that we're going to note is at the very end, we're going to have our panelists talk about maybe 1 or 2 job openings tonight. And we also have several other direct employers in the room who we're going to invite up and ask to speak. So if you're a direct employer who's not on the list with Jamie or Mark, we're going to ask that we'll get you in next month because we have just enough time to get everyone going. So I wrote some questions down. We'll see if I stick to this at all, or maybe we'll just throw it away. So first thing is we're going to ask our speakers to introduce themselves. So we're going to start with Nick, and we're going to go straight down. So if you could just tell us your name, the company you work with, and maybe 1 or 2 interesting facts that you never thought you'd tell a room of 150 people.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to do both mics.
Is this on? Is this on? It's like flashing red and
Why
green.
don't you take this one, and I'll trade it back with you. Yeah.
Hello? So I'm Nick. I'm from Google. The logo is an old logo, by the way, not our new one.
Oh, sorry about that. That's probably my fault.
I've been at Google for 3.5 years. Prior to that, I worked at an agency hiring across all of tech. Primarily now I focus on senior individual contributors and leadership, so managers, directors, VPs at Google. But I've worked the entire gamut from university hiring, engineering residencies, haven't hired interns, but worked with that team to entry-level, mid-level, senior folks from front-end, mobile, back-end, you name it. Interesting fact, right? Is that the next thing? Interesting fact.
Or not.
What's that?
Or not.
Or not. I have a weird obsession with collecting Hall of Fame baseball autographs. Started when I was like 12 years old, so I think I have something like 500 autographed baseballs, posters, cards from Cooperstown, and I go every year to the Hall of Fame induction, so it's kind of unique.
All right.
Right?
Mark collects stamps. It's a little weird.
The last one left.
Hello, I'm Lauren Sachar. I'm from Echo. I'm the people operations manager there. I've been at Echo for about 2 years now, and we recently changed our name to Echo. We were Interlude before that. So we are a media technology company, just headquartered a couple blocks away from here. and we create interactive video content, and we're building out a content distribution platform for that. So that's what we're about. And I've been there, as I said, for 2 years. I'm the only person doing the day-to-day of people operations stuff. So that means all the recruiting, all the HR, full spectrum of the business, from creative, developers, product, to business, accounting, pretty much everything. And an interesting fact, I don't collect anything special. But I think I used to collect stamps. You're putting me on the spot. My favorite dog breed is a poodle.
That works.
Oh, you have one, okay.
Hello. Okay, cool. So my name is Clifton Jadoo. I'm actually the technical recruiting lead at Foursquare. I handle all the technical recruitment from interns all the way to the director level candidates. I've been there for about 3 months. Before then, I spent about 2 years over at Compass, which was a technical real estate startup. I did a little bit of business development, engineering recruitment over there. And a fun fact about me, I've been to Vegas every year since like 2008.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Aren't you guys excited to be here? Give yourself a round of applause for being here, because it's all about starting off with networking. That's key. My name is Netta Gaye. I'm the head of diversity and inclusion. I'm also a senior technical recruiter. Gosh, I've been recruiting for years and years and years, and I love it so much that I even thought of coding myself, front end. So one day we'll see, or maybe one of you guys can teach me. So IAC Applications is a leading provider of software products and applications. Many of you have probably heard of IAC. How many hands? Yeah. So IAC owns Vimeo, OkCupid, Tinder, Match, on and on and on. IAC Applications is actually the second largest brand underneath IAC. So really excited to be here and chat with you guys tonight. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So I'd love the panel to just be fun. Let's make it conversational. So I may ask one of you directly a question, or I may throw it open to the panel, and it's great. I encourage you to disagree with each other. It makes it a little bit more fun. So let's see from the long list of questions. So the questions that we sent you, I threw them out and I created new ones just to warn you. So I guess the first one would be, if we think about the room tonight and the candidate flow that we're seeing today at Crowded and there's some different definitions. So we're going to start there. So we would label the majority of the developers in the room, and what we see is really junior to intermediate developers. So I'm going to ask from Nick, and we're going to go straight the way down, just real quick, one sentence or so. What would you consider to be a junior developer as far as the number of years of experience, or if there's another metric for just the term junior developer? Because I think as an industry, we're having some issues with the label, and it's affecting the way that candidates sometimes are applying for jobs. Hello?
I'll give you this until we...
If not, I'll give you this one.
I promise we're good at microphones at Google. This is a really interesting question, actually. So internally, how we review and how we categorize candidates for junior would be anywhere from 0 to 5 years. And then inclusive of maybe mid-level up to 10 years of experience. Now that's our definition and how we bucket people. We're a very flat organization as far as experience levels are concerned, and how we promote people through it. So yeah, 0 to 5 years, I guess, would be somewhat junior in our eyes.
Great.
For us, it's probably more like 0 to 3, but again, it's hard to quantify like that because someone with 0 years of experience who was trained at a boot camp might be coming in real time at a different level of experience from someone who has actually 0 years of experience, but is coming from an engineering program, a computer engineering or computer science program from a university. So even though their actual years of experience are both 0, one of the university graduate with the CS degree might be more of a mid-level in practice for our team. So I think it depends often on the coding background.
I would probably say around like 0 to 2 years, or someone who's used to only working on very, I guess, like specific features with like 1 or 2 features or a specific part of the code base. Because sometimes you have people who've only been working 1 year, but if they work at like a startup where they were exposed to like multiple features of the product, they might be considered more mid-level. But generally, I say 0 to 2 years at someone who's used to only working on like 1 or 2 very specific duties.
Great.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think 0 to 2 years is definitely precise. I met a candidate at a startup fair, and he actually didn't have any experience. He was just coding on his own. I told him, hey, send me some of those links, send me your GitHub account. I'll send it over to the manager so he can take a look at it. And we actually hired him. He did extremely well. So you don't have to actually have those exact number of years, 2 or 3. I think once you have that coding experience, you're passionate about it, you've been doing it for a while, you'll be good.
Awesome, thank you. So Lauren, you brought up a great point about boot camps. So Crowded, the 3 or 4 most recent developers that we hired for our internal team. So I think Mark and Joe mentioned we're a venture-backed startup in New York. We have, I think, 12 or 13 people on our team right now. We're building out our engineering team. Actually came from dev boot camps, and we're fascinated by really what's been happening across the country. Show of hands, how many people here have went to a dev boot camp? Nice and high. So, is that maybe a third? Yeah. About a third. So I'd love to hear, Lauren, maybe your opinion on dev boot camps. Just real quick. So we want to get through a whole bunch of topics. Do you consider that as a positive or a negative versus someone who went with a more formal computer science degree?
I love the idea of them. For our specific needs, it's often been pretty difficult for us to hire someone fresh out of a boot camp, given the nature of our technology and that we need our developers to also have an aesthetic side as well and to have video experience. So I'd love to be able to take or consider more people from boot camps, but I think the nature of what the day-to-day of our developers do requires, typically requires significant years of experience.
So Nick, what's your opinion on dev boot camps? Maybe personally versus maybe Google has a different opinion. It's a much larger company, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just going to give you my mic every time.
I keep turning it off.
Yeah. We're going to leave your mic on.
Is there a search bar? I can just type something.
Yeah, that's right. Google Home.
Okay, Google. Yeah, so about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, it was pretty unheard of us hiring somebody from a boot camp. I'm not sure who's looked into the Google hiring process or what we're looking for, but generally it's very academic, very CS 101 oriented. And the boot camps they're shortened. It's very difficult to catch up to a 4-year degree in just that short period of time. But what I recognize, and a few of my partners recognize, is there is a huge desire and to learn from these folks that are going to these boot camps. A lot of times they've completely changed their careers. They've had 4 years of experience in something, realized, hey, I've been passionate about coding for such a long time. I was forced into this by my parent, into something else from my parents, but I'm going to take the next 16 weeks of my life and dedicate it to this to really get back to what I love. And so we actually created a program to start hiring folks from boot camps. We specialized at interview panels. We put together individual prep materials for those folks, and we actually started getting the ball rolling from a lot of the local places here in New York. I've hired from all the big names, GA, Full Stack, App Academy. I know there's a few more I'm missing. I've actually hired instructors from those places as well. And now that we have a cycle of these going and we're recognizing all right, there are really smart people at these places. You may be missing some of the core skills, but you more than make up for it in all of these other things that a lot of our other candidates don't have. So passion or the GitHub profiles or just really smart people that maybe went for a mathematics degree versus a CS degree or went for a philosophy degree or something completely different, that they just bring a new perspective to the table. So yeah, we do hire from it. It is difficult, without a doubt. The curve to get ready for the process is very steep, but we've actually had a lot of success with it.
Awesome. So thank you. So next question is going to be for both Cliff and Netta. So if you think about the skill sets of, we're not going to go too far into the future, maybe in the next 12 to 18 months, what type of skills are you looking for again more of that junior developer position? Is it a certain framework, or something that you would suggest maybe some candidates here are watching kind of live tonight or the replays that they should really focus on becoming experts in, that's going to help them over the next 12 to 18 months?
All right, cool. Yeah, actually, two things I've noticed a lot of, how analytics was 5 years ago, how big data, Hadoop was 3 years ago. I'll probably say more of machine learning and artificial intelligence. There's a lot of free courses like Team Treehouse, Coursera, or even the MIT side. Been noticing a lot, even when you at least read job descriptions, it's always preferred to have knowledge of just general concepts of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So I think that's definitely going to be the next big trend for this year and next year, especially with personalized recommendations and predictive technology. So that will probably be what I would expect probably in the next year or two.
Awesome. Netta?
Yeah, definitely. I think data scientist is a huge trend right now, business intelligence. We typically look for folks that have JavaScript, Java, CSS, HTML, the back end, the front end skills is key for us. But yeah, I think one of the most important things though is, I'm sure many people have the functional knowledge here, but being able to explain it to people that don't really understand that technical knowledge, or technical language rather, is really important. So if you're collaborating with the marketing department, you need to explain to the marketing folks, okay, what this code means and how to break that down. So I think that's really important right now.
Awesome. So I'm going to do something fun. I wasn't paying attention, so Cliff, come over here. Nick, go over there. Your names are actually, I don't know if you got to notice, your names are behind you, and I didn't pay attention when I seated people, so never asked me to plan your wedding seating. So we're going to do, just real quick, now Cliff's here in the hot seat, so we're going to go straight down. So real quick, love to hear a story of someone that you hired that you felt really comfortable with, that in the first 90 days or 120 days, you or the team realized just wasn't going to work out, and maybe it was a disconnect, as an example, a reason that something didn't work out that felt great on the intake.
No, of course. So this actually hasn't happened when I've been an internal recruiter. It happened when, so basically before Compass, I used to be an agency recruiter. So we work with some financial clients. So this happened, I think it was a contractor for a large financial firm. Basically, when they interviewed the person, they were like, yeah, this guy is excellent. Basically, we extended him the offer. Then 1 month into it, we got an email saying, hey, we need to talk. Can we conference in with your account manager, account director? So we went into the call. We were like, this is really odd, because normally they would always ask all the agencies to be in the same conference call. So then we got onto it. Then they were like, yeah, unfortunately, what we discussed in the actual interview versus how this particular contractor is performing is just two different ways. So we're going to have to let them go. And what made this a little bit more difficult was this candidate relocated from Florida to North Carolina. So I'm like, oh, okay, so this guy broke his lease from Florida to move to North Carolina, and 1 month in, we have to terminate him. So unfortunately, that was a very difficult call, because this was probably my second month of recruitment at all. I just finished graduating from undergrad, so I'm like, this is going to be a really difficult call. But basically, I was honest with the candidate, basically just letting them know that, how they want this role to grow and his experience, it would just be beneficial to essentially terminate the contract.
Great, thanks. Lauren? I told you I threw out the original questions.
Keeps me on my toes.
We threw out the answers.
That's good too.
So one thing that this reminds me of is we had someone, relatively senior person, join the team for a role we were in desperate need of filling. And during the interview process, we had vetted this person's technical ability, and that had checked out totally fine. And then it kind of came to light a little bit later that we may have glazed over some of the more interpersonal skills and how to be a good coworker and stuff. So minor details. So, eventually that came to light, and unfortunately that employment relationship ended. But it was a good lesson in terms of, even if you're from the employer side, even if you're really in a crunch for a particular hire, and if a team is really feeling the extra burden, not to compromise on quality of overall contributor just because they bring the actual skills to the table that you might need. And you need to think about people and candidates holistically.
Great, thank you. Nick? Is the mic okay?
Yeah, it's working.
It's the sea change. The sea change helped.
So I got a scenario. It wasn't somebody I hired specifically, but somebody who hired as an organization when I was at Google. This person was extremely talented, had started 2 or 3 startups on their own, really well respected, in the marketplace. Essentially wasn't in our tracking system at all, which is hard to do, because they had never worked or wanted to work at a big company ever. We tracked this person down through GitHub, tweeted at them and ended up getting them to respond to us finally. We convinced them to come in, interviewed. Some of the highest interview scores I've ever seen in my entire life, just a complete rock star. We hired the individual, convinced him, you do want to work at a big company, here's all the impact you can have, all the tools, all the resources, et cetera, et cetera. He ended up working for us for maybe 6 months. And then I knew him personally, came to me and talked to me. He's like, you know what, Nick, just not what I want to do. It's not where I want to be. It's not how I want to do it. I've got this free spirit, and there's constraints at a big company. Yes, there are benefits of being here, but it's just not something I'm passionate about doing. So we ended up leaving. His performance internally was outstanding, just as we expected, but his heart wasn't into it. And I think it's something I've learned and something I speak to my candidates about. Whether they're taking our offers or other offers or comparing things, is you've got to look at yourself, look at what you want to accomplish over your career before accepting any job.
Great. Thank you. Netta?
Yeah, I think similar to Lauren, we had a rock star candidate. She did extremely well during the technical portion of the interview. But we did, let her know that it's a very collaborative company. So having those interpersonal skills are so important. And being a team player is important as well. And unfortunately, she just wasn't a team player and as collaborative. So that ended that way.
It happens. And the reason why I asked is that, we always hear about the great stories, and I think we can learn a lot about things that maybe didn't, work out. So I always think it's helpful to share that. So thank you. That's harder to share sometimes than what's the most interesting thing that 150 people don't know about you. So, all right. So we're going to go back to Lauren. So let's see, mixing it up a little bit. So one of the things that I'm fascinated by, and again, I've been hiring teams and individual developers for 20-something years, and what's fascinating to me is that how quickly everything changes. And I don't want to age myself and tell you the first language that I learned and things like that. But what I found fascinating is that within a matter of 18 months to 2 years, the world changes. So a candidate that maybe applied to your company 18 months or 2 years ago didn't fit. Maybe you were looking for a different framework, or there's a different skill set. So how do you suggest a candidate who walked out of the interview process and it felt pretty well, but you gave feedback and said you're missing this skill or that skill, and if they felt that over the next year they learned it or worked somewhere else, how should they approach you? Do they just reapply, or do they try to contact the hiring manager or who the recruiter was? Because I'm fascinated about how do you re-engage with candidates that just missed the mark a year ago.
So you're saying how should a candidate who's taken the time to learn this extra skill re-engage? Okay. It would be, if they had already come in for an interview and we've established some sort of relationship, then yes, I would definitely welcome a personal email or note letting me know that they're still interested and they've actually done X, Y, and Z to get A, B, C skill. I think that would be a better approach than just applying again, because as you probably know, we get inundated with applications. Mm-hmm. So anything to jog our memories would be really helpful. And then if you can't get in touch with the recruiter, go right to the hiring manager.
Awesome. So we're going to move pretty quick. I'm going to ask each of you one specific question, and then we're going to do another set of group questions, and then based on where we're at, we might start talking about some open positions. So Netta, so you have a really interesting title. You're running, diversity and inclusion.
Right.
So what's fascinating, for me, so my entrance into technology is I used to develop video games a million years ago. Mm-hmm. So we're talking like Sega Genesis, Game Boy. That again ages me, the type of stuff that I used to work on. So I can tell you back in the development studios that I ran that there were maybe one or two women in marketing,
right,
and that was it. And if you look at the room tonight, I'm pretty proud of the count of women developers that are represented. So I'd love to hear your suggestion and advice for female developers, breaking in for their first job and just basically how to shine.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Don't be afraid to put your best foot forward. Get out there, volunteer, get into organizations like Girls Who Code and try to, help them out, motivate them, inspire them, because it's all about, we saw the march, all of us, and the power in women. But we need men supporting us as well, So being a part of those organizations, I think, is key, and to motivate those girls.
Awesome, thank you. And I have to say the percentage of women developers represented tonight is probably 2x where we were a month ago. And I don't know if it's the speaker panel. It's just interesting. Right. I'm looking around the room. I think it's great.
That's awesome.
So thank you. So Nick, question for you. So what's the way to get into the foot in the door at Google? How does someone in this room get the attention? So they're here tonight, so they're gonna run at you, maybe offer you a beer or something like that. But outside of a room like this, how does a junior developer get noticed at Google?
Yeah, so our doorways work the same as everyone else's doorways. You push it, step in, follow with the rest of your body. We get inundated with millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of applications every year. So standing out is difficult. What I suggest to everybody is format your resume similar to how we format our job descriptions and what we're looking for and why we're looking for those things. If you know somebody at Google, that always helps. Connect with that person. Try to understand what they do, their background, how you could fit in there. Do a little bit of research on your own. Say, like, all right, well, this is the job I want to get into. Let's do a 5-minute LinkedIn search to see the backgrounds of those individuals. Maybe somebody went to the same university as you don't know. Connect with them, right? Like, small little things like that always help. Meetups are a huge way for you to get noticed, to create a connection with myself or any of my partners that do these. We host meetups at Google all the time. They're insane to get into, but try to sign up, set a calendar invite, and you can get into it. So there's a lot of different avenues at which you can do it. Persistence is the number one thing. I was persistent. My resume didn't stand out. It should have. I don't know why it didn't. But persistence is the key. I think I was persistent for like 8 months before somebody ended up responding to me. And I did exactly that. I spent time on my own reverse engineering their hiring process to figure out how I could get in the door. Formatted my resume in a way at which mimicked the folks that they've hired in the past, and ended up getting a call back, and it was easy from there. Once I got the call and got in the door, I was able to show my skills, and that was about it. Yeah.
Awesome. So Cliff, we've talked a little bit about cultural fit on maybe why things may have not worked out. I think that's come up a few times tonight in that conversation. So what's your thought because just to go back for when I started doing this in the video game industry, no one ever talked about culture 20 years ago. We literally had a developer, and I'm not joking, who wore a beanie with a propeller on his head. And I'm not joking. He actually sat there in his office and used to wear that. And
we got those.
And it's just, and I haven't seen another one of those in 20 years, thank God, but like, they didn't go out together, and no one went to escape the room together, and no one had team building and trust falls. It's like everyone coded all night, and they occasionally showered, and like that was it. So, to me, it's fascinating how, technology is turned into, the importance of cultural fit that I never would have bet on, 20-something years ago. So I'd love to hear your feedback on like why it's important, and does it really matter, or is it just companies speak on like, we love everyone and our employee engagement is wonderful?
No, I actually think culture fit is definitely a great selling point, especially when you go in, because the pool for not only technical talent, but just great talent in general is very competitive. So, when you have hedge funds, banks, everyone going after the same pool of people, I think culture is always a great selling point. Yeah, you may be in a financial firm, but if you walk in like 120 hours weeks, not really the best quality of life. Whereas with a startup, and I'm a little bit biased to startups, of course, I think the standard and just culture of all, like, isn't an inclusive culture. One thing though, I do hate the term culture fit used a lot. The way I usually judge people when I'm like screening candidates, I'm not necessarily looking for culture fit. I look for more of culture add. Like, can this person add to the culture of Foursquare? Because whenever I hit culture fit, it's kind of like you already have a predetermined box. Does someone fit in that box? Yes or no? And I think that's a little bit, I don't want to say discriminatory. I think that's kind of like one-track mind. Whereas with new people, you want to add to the culture of the organization. So I look for not only to make sure that this person will basically be a good fit for Foursquare, but will this person add to the overall culture at Foursquare?
Awesome. So Joe was literally jumping up and down behind the glass, like yelling at me to move on to the last question. So I will do that. So we're going to start with Netta, and we're going to go all the way back to Cliff. So we'll do it real quick. Tell us in the most condensed way that you can about the hiring process for a developer at your company. Is there a coding challenge? Technical interviews? Just I know it could be, especially on the Google side, it could probably be a very long conversation. So we'll do the super condensed version of it, and we'll run right down the path.
Yeah, definitely. Super condensed version would be, we definitely have a coding test, but it's more of a technical phone interview. So we don't actually send you a test in an email and say, okay, send us your code back. Again, we're a very collaborative organization, so we want to be able to see you. We want to be able to speak with you. So we'll do a video or a telephone, ask you those technical questions, and if that goes well, then we want to bring you on in. So that's the condensed version.
Awesome. Nick?
Yeah, our interview process is pretty well documented. It's out there online. I mean, you can do it in a pretty quick search. A lot of companies are trying to mimic it over the years because it's proven to be successful. But yeah, generally starts off with a phone interview. It's an interactive phone interview, so you're on a blank Google document connected to the internet, writing code, algorithms, answering questions, etc. From there, if we have positive feedback, we'll bring it in for a full round of on-site interviews, which is a full day on-site with generally 5 one-on-one interviews, all 100% independent from the rest. We also had like a fun lunch in there as well, but all in all, yeah, it's tense. The information's out there. We try to provide it to you as much as we can. The bar has never changed at Google. It's been exactly the same. The information has just been more accessible to people now. So if you have any more nuanced questions beyond that, I can try to help you as much as I can.
Cool. Thank you. Lauren?
So I'll always start with the initial phone screen chat, and then if it progresses from there, you'll come in for a one-on-one with our direct hiring manager for that role. That will be more of a technical interview, and then from that there will be a coding challenge, and then from that probably a meeting again with the hiring manager plus the CTO, and so on and so forth.
Awesome. Cliff?
Cool. So it usually starts off with a pre-screen with myself, just kind of basic information gathering. Then I send a code and exercise where the candidate completes it, and once they complete it, we basically anonymize the person's code. So basically our grader from our engineering team, they don't know if this person's a CMU grad, non-CMU, male, female. We completely keep it so they don't know exactly. All they can read is the code. If they are yes to it, we just basically bring this person on site. There's basically a 4-hour interview with a 1-hour lunch, and then that's the entire process.
Interesting. So you're basically trying to remove bias from that with you. That's really interesting. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So let's say thank you to our panelists. I'm going to do one more thing with them. So I'm going to ask the panelists who maybe have, and it's okay if you don't have one open right now, but anyone who has any positions opened that you'd love to talk about, one or two of them, maybe for a minute or two, including how do they apply for it. So what's going to happen for the rest of the evening is after each one of our panelists is going to share a job opening or two, we then have a certain number of Mark will let us know how many employers are going to come up and do the same thing, and then it's going to be a little bit of chaos, and everyone's going to try to, swarm and talk to each person. So one important point is that all of our panelists have access to the crowded database as employers. So we want to make sure that everyone has complete profiles that will be available, and so if you wouldn't mind mentioning, how they can apply. If it's as simple as going to your career page, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Please go to our career page, our website, www.iacapps.com. Apply, send your resume, and what was the other question there?
Maybe a position or two that you think might be of interest to the room.
Yeah, definitely. We have full stack positions. We're looking for folks that have front end and back end experience, so Java, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. We're also looking for a senior software engineer. We're also looking for a senior business intelligence and data analyst. I can go on and on and on, but definitely full stack engineers, so please reach out to me.
So Yonkers or New York? The reason why I'm asking is that we actually have a decent number of people here from Connecticut, from Westchester,
awesome.
and not everyone has to work in New York City.
Yeah.
So.
Our headquarters is actually in Yonkers, so we do offer free parking if you work there. We free parking.
Yeah, it's important.
It's a nice little perk, right? And we also give each employee a prepaid card where we put $130 on it, so it helps out with your commute if you're in New York City and you're commuting to Yonkers. So we do have a location in New York City. That's the IAC building right across the street from Chelsea Piers. Nice, beautiful building. So, yeah.
Nick's like, you haven't seen the Googleplex.
We have a building. It's an entire city block. So we're hiring across the board. In general, the software engineering requirement is what we're hiring the most of all the time. It's a majority of our company. It's a majority of our organizations. You'll see a lot of different applications out there when you do the search. You might see front-end software engineer, mobile software engineer, machine learning software engineer. It's all the same exact job code. It's all the same exact thing. It's just to cast a wider net for when we're looking for individuals. But it's all the same exact thing, basically. Beyond that, there are UX, UI engineers, designers. All of these job roles exist. My suggestion to anybody, don't just apply, apply absolutely. Put your name in our system, in our database. We are a very aggressive sourcing team, but also try to contact the recruiter as you can. Reach out to me, I have no problem. I'll try to help you out as much as I can. Any of my partners will as well. But yeah, we're hiring. I've got to hire probably 300 to 400 software engineers in New York City alone.
So you say 300 to 400?
Software engineers alone, and that's not counting all the other stuff. Then yeah, it's a lot. So yeah, we are hiring.
We don't have anything open right now, unfortunately, but we are in the process of getting the 2017 headcount approved. So once we know that, once it's finalized, that will be on our careers page.
Awesome.
Cool. So the best place to apply for not only tech jobs, but also non-tech jobs. Just go to Foursquare.com, go to the jobs section. And one of the roles that I'm actively recruiting for is an Android engineer, which is both in San Fran and New York. Looking for someone who probably has 1 to 2 years of experience building out apps would be perfect, and that's about it.
Awesome. So we wanted to say thank you again to our panelists. So we're going to ask our panelists to stay here because as soon as you guys move, the whole room is going to shift. So I want to introduce Mark Roth again, our co-founder, and he's going to introduce some of the hiring managers. And they can use this mic and this, so we have it recorded. So
first off, just so we can speed things up, any of the employers who have checked in with Jamie, start making your way to this corner of the stage so that we can get you guys up one by one. So if you've checked in with Jamie, please get up to the corner of the stage here. First, I want to bring up.
Oh, can I throw a shirt? I didn't get to throw a shirt.
We want to bring up Ben Blair from Stride. Ben, come on up.
Hi, my name is Ben Blair. I'm from Stride. Right now, we're doing a lot of hiring for full stack developers. We're an agile software consultant agency or software consultancy in New York. I've been with the company for a week, so I'm not going to dive too deep into everything that I don't know. But I would love to talk to anybody who is maybe just coming out of a boot camp. We love career changers. Anybody with professional experience, full stack, we're using Ruby on Rails, Java on the back end, Node, things like that. So we're open. Check out our careers page. It's www.stridenyc.com. And I'm Ben at stridenyc.com too. So email me.
Thanks, Ben. Is it pronounced Om? Om from InspireAve.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, we'll do with both. Well, thank you for having InspireAve. For those of you who followed the news in the companies that American Banker selected as one of the top ones to watch, InspireAve is very honored to be one of them. South by Southwest, which named us as one of the top 8 ventures this past year, actually gave us an interesting moniker. We are digital layaway on steroids. So think of us as sort of the anti-credit card. We harness the power of digital design and artificial intelligence to help users, a growing number of them, save more faster to make their next big purchase equally affordable and memorable. We are hiring for both IT leads and designers. Those, I would say, are the most important roles that we are looking to fill. And while I can't offer, compensation that may be as competitive as the companies on stage, what I will tell you is that for the right person, we will make it the most amazing learning opportunity of your lifetime. So come speak to us after if you want to work in technology and social impact all at the same time.
Thank you, Om. Next up, Lauren from Castleton Commodities.
Hey everybody, my name is Lauren Heyman. Oh, okay. Try again. My name is Lauren Heyman. I work for Castleton Commodities. We're in Stamford, Connecticut. We also have free parking. We're 10 minutes off the train, just going right to Stamford. We are what's called a commodity merchant. We do physical financial commodity trading. We own and acquire energy-related assets, and we're global. Really flat structure. You get a lot of exposure there. We always look for people with technical backgrounds. If you're looking to move into trading roles, for example. Right now, we have a position working for one of our most successful portfolio managers year over year. We're looking for someone with a computer science background that's looking to do analytics and hopefully learn how to trade within the next couple of years. So if you want to check out the company and check out the roles, www.cci.com. Thanks.
Thanks, Lauren. They can't hear us out there.
Oh, they can't hear. So if anyone from Crowded could let the people in the cafe know to just quiet down and touch, that'd be great.
Next up, we have Will from Shopkeep. Will?
I'm with Shopkeep. We make tools for managing retail and restaurant small businesses. We currently have open roles in product, engineering, and data science. Happy to talk to you if you're interested in any of those. And you can see our open recs on shopkeep.com/careers.
Thanks, Will. Is Kareem here from Rocket Trip? Come on up, Kareem.
Hi, everyone. We're a startup 3 years out of Y Combinator. We're a B2B SaaS platform. We're incentivizing employees to save on corporate travel. We're hiring for a full stack engineer, director of engineering, and DevOps. Our stack is Python, Redux, React, and Node.
Thanks, Kareem. Dequana from JW Player.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dequana Washington. I'm from JW Player. We are the most powerful and flexible video player on the web. We are hiring for a number of roles. Engineering, yes. Lead engineers, DevOps, all across the board. Visit us at jwplayer.com/careers. I hope to see you apply. Thank you.
Thank you. Of course, we wouldn't be complete if we didn't have Andrew from Crowded come up. Where's Andrew? We are hiring at Crowded.
Hold both together. Hold both. All right, no problem. All right, guys. Obviously, our site, we have you can create your candidate profiles, and a lot of employers will see you. But we're also hiring as well. One of the main hires that we're doing right now is a back-end hiring. So if anyone wants to get a job in back-end, please apply on our site. Fill out your profile fully. Put your GitHub link, and also for us to notice you, you can either email ben@crowded.com or actually put as a skill BenBot. And we will look tomorrow morning. The first thing we'll look at is all the people that have BenBot as a skill. And also, we don't, despite what Howie said, you're allowed to wear stupid hats, and we don't monitor your showering. We don't have free parking, I guess, but I will personally valet your car if you're really good. So don't worry about it every day. All right, so please apply and fill out your profiles at crowded.com.
A pretty good offer there. Okay, great. Peter Yee from Bow and Drape.
Hi, I'm Peter. I'm from Bow and Drape. We are not a tech company. We are a fashion company. We are looking for another person in software engineering. So if you like shopping, fashion, sewing things, maybe knitting things, come talk to me, find me. Also email info@bowandrape.com or check us out at Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, Lord & Taylor. Thanks.
Thanks, Peter. Ben Chung. Ben, come on up from SoundCloud.
Hey everyone, I'm Benjamin Chung from SoundCloud. We are an open platform enabling everyone to share and discover different kinds of audio, which is pretty cool. Things from NASA's podcast to things like Chance the Rapper's, hot new mixtape, which is pretty dope. We are hiring for back-end engineers. So if you're someone who's interested in kind of functional programming paradigm, totally happy to talk, as well as we're gonna have a pretty solid focus on mobile this year. So if you're interested in mobile, talk to me. Mobile's gonna be kind of cool thing. We actually recently hired a new CTO, Artem Fishman, who was previously a VP of engineering at Yahoo, and that was pretty awesome. We're also hiring a senior recruiter as well. So for anyone over here, and that's pretty much it for me.
Thank you. So next up, Miles from Squarespace. A few more to go.
Hi, everyone. I'm from Squarespace. We're hiring across the board. For those of you who don't know what Squarespace is, it's essentially the platform for you to brand yourself online. So if you're not technical on front end, we provide templates so that way you can just make a beautifully designed website, much better than Wix, Weebly, or any of them. So we're hiring pretty much anything, you name it. I can talk tech later if you want, so feel free to apply.
Okay, great. Bring your beanie hat. Letitia Ricks from Quidsi, an Amazon company. Oh, she's not here? Okay. David and Manny. David and Manny from HCL. Our first team of the night.
Hi there. This is really crowded here. So I'm from HCL, and we are a consulting company, about 100,000 people globally. And then we are focused on the analytics practice. It's about 4,500 strong. We are looking for data science, data engineers, big data architects. So if you're any of the skill set, please talk to us. And then you can check out our website, hcltech.com.
So I'm just going to add a little bit to that. So we're not recruiters. We actually run respectively the analytics show ourselves. I'm a data scientist by trade, and I'm heading up the data scientist practice within HCL, partnering with Manny and the massive 3,000 to 4,000 strong organization that he runs. So we're quite keen because we have grown this discipline, especially on the East Coast. So we're very much interested in meeting anybody from the data architecture, data engineering, and data science field. And I think that's about it. You have to be based in New York, but willing to travel a lot. And you can be an individual contributor, or you can be client-facing. It really doesn't matter as long as you're good. Thanks.
Thank you. Last up is James here, James Wallace.
All right. Oh, there's two more. Okay, I thought I'd be the big finish, but that's okay. Hi, everybody. I'm James Wallace, and I guess the short version is you get to make money doing something that you love and that you can be proud of. We run an art company, but we've been very tech-oriented. I actually sold a tech company several years ago. It was named by Entrepreneur Magazine as one of the top 100 most brilliant companies in the world, which with $10 will get you a latte. But we sold the company, and now we have a new startup that we're interested in. We're looking for some front-end people, back-end, and at the end of the day, my co-founder wrote down some characteristics: mean, arrogant, solitary, negative, lazy, unreliable. No, I'm sorry, that's what we don't want. Okay, fun, inspired, curious, work well under pressure, organized, positive, and can deliver. Look, it's a small company. We're based here in New York in Midtown. We have free espresso. So no free parking. It's Nascent Art, New York. Come find me. And my name is James Wallace. Thanks so much.
Thanks. I don't have anybody else on my list, but who's left? Come on up.
Hi, my name is Natalie. I'm here with the EVP of Engineering from Live Intent. We're a company of about 200 people. We're a later stage startup. We have offices in London, Copenhagen, Berlin, Austin, Texas, but we're based here in New York, and Eric can tell you a little bit about what we do.
Thanks. Yeah, we're all greatest neighborhood in New York, Tribeca. We do people-based marketing and email, which is a simple concept, but a lot of cool tech behind it. We have a user interface that's based in Angular and Node. We have big data applications that are based in Scala and Hadoop, and we have high-speed applications to do real-time auctioning on the internet, real-time in C and Google. So pretty much, we're not doing Haskell or Erlang yet, but there's pretty much something for everyone. We're hiring across all roles, and Natalie's our lead recruiter. Ken Misser in the orange t-shirt. We'd love to have you come work for us. We love senior engineers with experience. We also love junior engineers so we could mold you.
Thank you, Warren. This is, I believe, the last one. Woofy, come on up.
All right, awesome. Hey guys, Matthew again. It's been a long time. So Woofy is hiring a senior back-end developer looking for preferably 2 to 3 years experience on iOS and Swift. We're looking for someone to build out our analytics and also build out our mobile app. Eventually, we'll be hiring in about a year to do enterprise and go into Android. But right now, if anyone does iOS Swift, 2 to 3 years experience, please come talk to us. We'll be right there by the TV. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you to all the employers. That was awesome. And I'm going to hand it over to Joe now.
All right, so that is just about it. We have plenty of time for networking. Like I mentioned, plenty of beer from our sponsors and our amazing sponsors. Really quickly, March 1st, we're doing a hackathon. Check that out on our website. Check it out on Meetup. Definitely sign up if you feel like joining that. Definitely join that. Big round of applause for all of our speaking companies and all of our companies here today. And thank you so much. Feel free to enjoy some networking. Next Meetup, February 22nd.